The roads and sidewalks of Sparta have been neglected for many years. How would you address this problem in the future? When I was elected mayor in 2002, the one thing that I heard more than anything else, of course the economy wasn't real bad at that time, but the one thing I heard more than anything else was, if you drive down Hickory Valley Road, you'll knock the tailpipe off your car before you get to the city limit sign. We completely rebuilt South Young Street. We completely rebuilt not only the street, we built the infrastructure that went with it. All the way down there. We improved it. That was the goal. Sidewalks, yes, we've got terrible needs for sidewalks improvements, and we've got needs for more streets. And that was the goal in 2002. To start on South Young Street, go to Turntable, go to these other places that need these roads. But guess what? All of a sudden the state calls and says your water system is within months of being shut down. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do it immediately. We had neglected our water system and our sewer system. Our water system, we were only making about 3 feet of water when we had the potential of making about 20 feet of water at a time. So we had to stop and spend almost $3 million. Not because we wanted to, but because the state said, you come in and you do it, and you do it now. I went to the city administrator and I went to the public works director, and I told them, if you don't fix this within a year, I'm going to bring the middle school 6th grade class here, and we're going to have a picnic on the floor of this water plant within 12 months. It better be ready. And guess what? In 12 months, we brought the 6th grade over there, and we had a picnic on the floor of the water plant because it needed to be fixed. We didn't need to procrastinate, and that's a bad habit that sometimes we have. But we corrected it, and we corrected it immediately. But what was the cost of that? The cost of that was sidewalks and streets. But we need to get back to that, and we need to get back to it as fast as we can, as soon as we get these things done. We spent, in the last 4 or 5 years, we have spent almost $11 million, the city of Sparta, on capital improvements. Not because we wanted to improve the street, not because we wanted to redo a sidewalk, not because we wanted to put in the sewer system, because we were mandated by the state to do it. I'll never forget the day that I went to Nashville and they sat across the table from me, the lawyers for TDEC, and they said, let me tell you something, Mayor Pedigo. Do you realize that if we find out that you knew anything about this water system, you, Mayor Pedigo, you will be held responsible personally. Personally. The city won't be held responsible. I will be. That's why you have to come back and say, you have to make a hard decision. You do it with your own business. I love to trade cars more than I do, but I can't. Thank you.
Well, I'll be very quick to tell you, I will address that problem as elected mayor week 1. You will see new sidewalks start going in. As Mayor Pedigo said, there's a lot of things that we have been forced by the state to do to spend our money. And that has been crucial. You have to do that. There's no choice in that. Some things that we don't have to do, though, is spend all of our money on engineering. A lot of things have to be engineered. When there's grants involved, you know, there's a certain amount of engineering has to be done. But in the last 28 months, $770,000 has been spent by the city of Sparta on engineering alone. That goes to 4 firms. I have a list of those. That's an unreal number for the city the size of Sparta. We have got to do better than that. We cannot spend that much money on it. If we eliminate at least some of that spending, and we eliminate things that maybe we don't have to have, like as I mentioned earlier, we save $25,000 if we'd join with the city on animal control. That's $25,000 a year. We can gradually start working on some of these sidewalks and some of these streets, but we have to budget our money and spend where we have to spend, not where we want to spend, in order to get these things done. Roads and sidewalks will constantly be a problem. City aldermen, mayors, and administrators, they'll be talking about this same issue 20 years from now because it'll always be a problem. But what you have to do is stay on top of it and manage your money as best you can. The question is, Mayor Claude Bradley several years ago proposed selling Sparta Electric, saying we reached no real benefit from owning it and could sell it for several $million that we could use for the town's benefit. How do you feel about this? This topic has come up several times. It actually came up not very long after I was elected to the city alderman. My personal opinion on this, I would definitely not be for selling Sparta Electric. From a business owner's standpoint, when you have an asset there that you can sell, that's great. But say we sold the electric company for $3.5, $4 million, I think that's in the neighborhood of the offer that we got at that time. That's great. That frees up $3 or $4 million. But what happens when we spend that money? Our electric system is going to be owned by an outside company, such as Katie Ford. Some of the other electric co-ops will be buying that. We have been able to keep rates very low lately. I mean, they have been over the past several years. Way before I got on this board, this is one of the towns that's been able to keep electric rates low. Recently, there was an increase. That was advised by TVA. We actually had a guy come in and met with the aldermen, Mayor Pedigo and myself, and they advised us of where our rates need to be, and we made adjustments. But I definitely would not be for selling Sparta Electric and putting it in the hands of somebody else.
I was on the board when Claude made that proposal. We had quite a few people who came in and applied to get the information to buy Sparta Electric. We looked at it, and I know of one company that had actually, bankers had told me that they had gone to the bank and had got a letter of credit for almost $6 million to buy Sparta Electric. Half the people who sent in applications to buy Sparta Electric was post office boxes in Nashville, Tennessee. They wanted to buy it so they could turn around and sell it. The business that I thought was going to come in and offer us $6 million for it came in and offers us $650,000, something like that. It was some ridiculous number. We have a great utility company. You've got to realize this about Sparta Electric. It's not like the city and tax dollars. Sparta Electric is controlled by TVA. All we are is a flow-through. We've got to give good service, the best service we can give at the least cost, but the cost of that electricity, and probably 80 or 90% of the amount of money that comes through, is TVA's. We've got to be just a good steward of their money. I think we do that. I've had people say, well, they turned off my electricity and I've got kids that need me. You know, we don't control that. That's controlled by TVA. TVA says you have to make a profit. You have to do this. This is what you have to do. Same way with water. State water people say, you can't give away water. You can't give away electricity. That's what it's for. So we've got to do that. And I think we have a great electric company and we need to keep it. It's been great in the past and it'll be even greater in the future. We've got to keep it. I agree with that.